Imagine this. You're scrolling through your feed, and suddenly a trailer drops for one of the most famous love stories in English literature, Emily Brontë's Wuthering Heights. But instead of a sweeping gothic romance, full of brooding stares and tragic heartbreak, you get something that looks more like a cross between Saltburn and 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, that's exactly what happened when Emerald Fennell's brand new adaptation hit the internet. The director, who made waves and plenty of headlines with her shocking film Saltburn, is back with another bold take, this time featuring Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi in the lead roles. And let's just say, the internet has feelings about it. First, let's set the scene. Wuthering Heights, written in 1847, is a gothic classic, a dark, intense exploration of love, revenge, and generational trauma, set against the wild, stormy moors of England. The novel is revered for its raw emotion, complex characters, and themes of obsession and destruction. So when fans heard Emerald Fennell was bringing her vision to the screen, many expected something edgy but faithful to Brontë's spirit. Instead, what they got in the trailer was, well, bread kneading with heavy breathing, a fish used in ways nobody asked for, and more sweaty, lustful imagery than most people associate with this literary classic. In the trailer, Margot Robbie plays Cathy, the willful and arrogant heroine, while Jacob Elordi embodies Heathcliff, the tortured outsider. The pair are already Hollywood powerhouses, and on paper, this casting looks like a win. But what shocked fans wasn't the acting, it was the tone. Instead of gothic melancholy, the preview was laced with hypersexualized visuals, corset shots, sweaty bodies, mouths lingering on food, and an unsettling amount of finger-to-mouth action. Oh, and let's not forget the fish moment that instantly became meme-worthy. All of this, set to a fractured, haunting remix of a Charli XCX song, gave the whole thing a surreal, almost satirical vibe. Reactions on social media were instant and fiery. One fan joked that Emily Brontë must be rising from her grave at the sight of her novel turned into what people are calling 50 Shades of Brontë. Others said it felt like a parody, a bodice ripper filtered through TikTok aesthetics. One post summed it up. If you wanted to make a horny period piece, just do that. No need to terrorize Wuthering Heights. The internet's ability to turn outrage into comedy was in full force, with users posting exaggerated reactions, memes, and hot takes. But underneath the jokes, there's a real concern that this adaptation might be steering too far away from the original novel's themes. So why is this causing such an uproar? Well, Wuthering Heights isn't just a romance. It's a story about obsession, generational trauma, social class, abuse, and revenge. Fans see it as much more than just another love story, and they worry that a highly eroticized adaptation reduces the depth of the novel into little more than shock value. For some, it feels like the book's exploration of race, class, and morality is being sidelined in favor of sex-driven spectacle. And when your trailer includes not only food erotica, but also cryptic glimpses of darker, even grotesque imagery, it's bound to divide audiences. Adding fuel to the fire are early reports from a test screening. Viewers describe scenes involving BDSM, necrophilia, and even grotesque moments tied to executions. These claims suggest that the final cut may include extremely provocative content, pushing boundaries in ways audiences might not expect from a Brontë adaptation. Whether these reports are exaggerated or not, the trailer itself confirmed at least some bizarre choices. Erotic bread kneading, egg yolk imagery, and horse rein bondage setups. It's clear Emerald Fennell is leaning into shock, perhaps deliberately courting controversy the way she did with Saltburn. Emerald Fennell, of course, is no stranger to provoking conversation. She won an Academy Award for Promising Young Woman, and later delivered Saltburn, which became infamous for its disturbing, provocative scenes. Her filmmaking often blurs the line between dark humor and discomfort, daring viewers to look away, but also forcing them to think about what they just saw. In that sense, this Wuthering Heights might not be so much a faithful adaptation as it is a reinterpretation, filtered through her provocative, modern lens. The question is, does that approach enrich a 19th century story, or does it just alienate fans who wanted Bronte's original atmosphere preserved? And then there's the soundtrack. Charli XCX's cultural supernova Brat album is still dominating headlines in the music world, and this adaptation borrows from it, but with a fractured, eerie remix of her track, Everything is Romantic. The decision makes sense if you think of Fennell's style, pairing hypermodern, edgy music with period visuals to create tension. But again, for purists, it's jarring. Imagine expecting gothic violins on a windy moor and instead getting hyperpop beats twisted into a horror-tinged lullaby. For some, it's excitingly fresh. For others, it's a cultural clash that cheapens the mood of the story. Despite the backlash, there's no denying the marketing has done its job. Everyone is talking about it. Social media feeds are filled with memes, debates, and think pieces. Some fans claim they'll boycott it, while others admit they'll probably be first in line at the theater just out of sheer curiosity. As one user put it, "I'm liking every hate tweet, but let's be real, I'll be seated on opening night." That sums up the paradox of controversial art. The more people complain, the more likely they are to watch, if only to see what the fuss is about. The cast lineup beyond Robbie and Elordi is also impressive. Hong Chow, Shazad Latif, Alison Oliver, Martin Clunes, and Ewan Mitchell round out the ensemble, bringing serious acting weight to the project. There's even a younger Heathcliff, played by Owen Cooper, which suggests the film will trace the character's early years as the novel does. So while the tone might be shocking, the casting signals this isn't just a gimmick. It's a fully fleshed out project with major Hollywood talent attached. That duality makes the conversation even more interesting. Can strong performances balance out the controversy of the artistic choices? It's also worth noting that period dramas have been trending lately, but often with a twist. Think of shows like Bridgerton, which injected modern flair and music into Regency-era storytelling, or films like The Favorite, which pushed absurdist and sexually provocative angles into 18th century settings. Fennell's Wuthering Heights may just be the next step in that cultural trend, where historical drama collides with modern aesthetics. Designed less for purists and more for audiences craving something daring, edgy, and even memeable. In that sense, it fits the cultural moment, though whether it satisfies Bronte's legacy is another story. At the end of the day, this film raises big questions about adaptations. Should directors feel free to radically interpret classics? Or is there an obligation to honor the original tone? Some argue that reinvention keeps stories alive for new generations, while others believe too much alteration dilutes the meaning. With Wuthering Heights, those questions feel especially sharp, since the book has always been polarizing. Some love its darkness, while others find it unsettling. Emerald Fennell's version seems designed to lean into that discomfort and amplify it to extremes. Whether you call that brilliant or blasphemous probably depends on how open you are to reinterpretation. So what's next? The movie isn't hitting theaters until 2025, which means there's still time for changes, edits, or more reveals. But one thing is for sure, this trailer has already done what every studio dreams of. It got people talking. Love it or hate it, Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights will not go unnoticed. And when the final film drops, audiences will either walk away shocked, enthralled, disgusted, or maybe all three at once. Until then, the debates will rage on. Is this bold artistic vision a brilliant reinvention or a total betrayal of a gothic masterpiece? Whatever side you're on, one thing's clear: we're all going to be seated.